right, welcome back. What's going on? Let's get back into some more convo conversation. Let's go. All right, let's get back into the markets. Actually, we want the total market, not the asset. All right, let's back this thing up. All right, go back here. All right, we are at 2.74. It hasn't gone anywhere. We are 274. Markets are down. Of course, they're down. They've been down. We haven't seen anything yet. Trending, ACH trending, 19% up today. People are interested in that. Do they know why? I don't know. But they've followed that direction. Burger. What the hell is a burger? It's down 53%. This, to me, is pump and dump stuff. Like when I see stuff like this, like, what the hell is a burger? Come on. We're not even going to go down that rabbit hole, but for real. You know what I'm saying? It's very simple to stay in monitoring stuff that's actually real. and that's, whatever. All right, so nothing going on with the markets. 2.74. Of course, it's down. We haven't seen anything yet. We're still looking at the retail side. We're waiting for institutions. So, just chill out, ride with it. You're waiting for institutions. Now, let's get into some information. Jack the Rippler shared Ripple partners with BBVA and gets regulatory approval to offer crypto in Spain. All right, so will Ripple, the company, get countries producing their stable coin off? Was that the play the whole time? I don't know, speculation. But are they going to try to get countries all over to produce their stable coin, their central bank coin on their XRP ledger? I wonder about that. Was that the play? Now, possibilities are endless. Will they use XRP? In a sense, you will. You'll have to get XRP to convert over, right? So you'll get a stash pile of XRP because the network is reliable, it's centralized, it's fast, and then you'll build off that your stablecoin, or they'll build it for you. Then, with holding XRP, by holding it, you're able to swap it out for the stablecoin of your country, right? And then do transactions with it. Now, let's just imagine, all right? Let's just imagine, hey, man, Spain says, you know what? F you, United States. I don't trust you in your dollar. They say, well, look, we're going to pay you in RLUSD, right? Ripple's USD. Oh, okay, we'll take that. They'll then take that and convert that into XRP, right? Boom, right? Then we don't need the USD, right? Give us the XRP. They swap it out. And then if they want to do business within their own country, they and their citizens will use Spain's stable coin or Spain's central bank coin. So now you brought in from another country's, their currency, turned it into XRP because it's already running on those rails. You'll do it from within this bank or exchange that they're setting up. Is that the play? I don't know. So you'll go through the exchange or bank that they're setting up. You won't need to trust another country. It'll be trustless. Centralized, yeah. If something goes wrong, somebody's working on it to make sure it's always up and running. You can sleep well at night. So I don't want the U.S.'s dollars. They say we'll give you RLUSD. We'll do payment that way. And say, oh yeah, well I'll take that because that's XRP. Yeah. So they'll take that, convert that right back into XRP, right? Or convert it over into their stable coin, or they'll probably, convert it into their XRP and then convert it over into their national currency, right? And then that national currency is then passed around, whether it be the citizens or paid within the country to businesses, everything. Because, it's already okay for banks in the United States to accept, to hold that stuff. In some municipalities within states and cities are already accepting cryptocurrency. So it's not wild, right? It's not no wild idea. So interesting that is, and I wonder if that's the play. Don't know. Dusty BC Crypto shared breaking: Thailand just dropped a bombshell. The SEC approves USDC and USDT stablecoins for trading, joining Bitcoin and Ethereum on the official list. Yeah, well, that's interesting. The Wolf of Wall Street shared this. U.S. crypto czar David Sachs discusses Bitcoin, the strategic. Okay, well, let's listen to that. Check it out.
I just have to correct one thing. I think it's been a very smooth week at the White House. The president has lived up to one of his campaign promises. This is not something new. Remember, you go all the way back to his national speech during the campaign, and he reiterated this many times, that he wanted to create a strategic Bitcoin reserve. Sometimes he called it a digital asset stockpile. What we've ultimately done here is both. He also, in his week one EO on crypto, you guys remember I came on the show to talk about that. He asked our president's working group on digital assets to evaluate the idea of a reserve or stockpile. And we made a recommendation, and this administration is moving at tech speed. It's really great to work for an administration where you can actually get things done and things move quickly. We made our recommendation, and then we worked with the lawyers to implement it, and the president signed it last night. But this is fully consistent with everything he's always said.
Agree on that. I guess the one criticism that you're going to get when you go face the media, so I might as well put it here, is the order in which you're doing things. Sometimes Mr. Trump is very expressive on the social medias, which is better than, let's say, things that we are used to in Silicon Valley, but that people, whether it's in business, are maybe a little concerned about, that things are maybe different now in the White House and in how we're running our government. So that made a lot of people, putting myself out.
It's the only one that doesn't have an issuer, right? It's very decentralized. It's, in crypto, they call this the Immaculate Conception. We don't really know how it got here. We don't know who Satoshi is. It's almost mystical, you would say.
Yes.
It's the most valuable one. It has a $2 trillion market cap, and it's the most secure. It's never been hacked, right? So we're now, over 15 years into this journey, and there's been a lot of people who've been skeptical along the way, and there's been a lot of ups and downs, but here it is. I mean, I remember back in 2011, I think it's the first.
So, well, we're going to go through a little bit more of it. Obviously, we had this conversation already that Bitcoin isn't going anywhere. It is a store of value. It's no different than, like, for instance, gold. People put their value in it, so the value stays high. It hasn't been cracked. Cool. And so it's a surefire way to hold value, right? Like, who wants to store actual physical gold in their home, right? And who's doing that? Because you get robbed and then boom, right? If you have massive amounts or large amounts, not even have large amounts. If somebody knows that you have it in your house, 9 times out of 10, they'll probably be more prone to break into your house to try to find it, because they can just go to any dealer in gold in pawn shop and just sell it off and get quick money. So that's, it's very difficult. You got to keep it on the low. Don't tell nobody what's going on if you do those type of things. But at the same token, it's no different than crypto, because you don't want people knowing you got crypto, because then they'll be trying to break in and get a hold of that. So it's really no difference, but it's just really a store of value, and it's not going anywhere. Let's continue.
First time I bought a Bitcoin, I think it was at $120. Now it's at $90,000.
And so that goes to the point earlier, right? So if you bought it a low, and this is for any currency, right? Well, of value, that's a use, right? So that's a store of value. And he buying it at 100. Wow, look at the price of it today. So when you get into this space and you understand what you're involved in, you understand the asset that you're investing in, right? You're looking for a long haul. You're not looking for 2 weeks from now to be a millionaire. That's crazy. You're not even looking a year, 2 years, 3 years. This might take 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. Who knows? But you're investing for the long haul. So you're just doing this repetitively over and over and over and over. Every time you get paid, you're investing for the future first, and then you do everything else. Let's continue.
Again, there have been all sorts of wild swings along the way, but this thing just keeps chugging along. And you can think of that $2 trillion market cap as like a $2 trillion bug bounty. If there was a way to hack this, there's every incentive in the world. And by hack, I mean like to double spend, create basically a counterfeit Bitcoin, I guess would be the way for people to think about it. And
it is a miracle it hasn't been compromised. I think we can all say that.
Well, I don't know if it's a miracle. I think it's exceptional design.
Sure.
And so I think what you could say is that it's been tested in a very robust way, and there's been every incentive.
We're going to pause there. Wait a minute. You said it's a miracle that it hasn't been hacked? That's scary. That's scary, right? I'm going to leave that at that. That's dangerous. Those words were dangerous because that insinuates in my mind that somebody's keeping it from, right? You know, if where does the United States get their stock, their Bitcoin from, right? Their stockpile of Bitcoin. That's right, criminals. Okay, so when you commit the crime, your assets are frozen and everything else. The United States takes it. It's so easy how they take it, right? Does anyone ever ask the question, how is it so easy for them to take it? I'm gonna leave that out there. In that statement, it's a miracle it hasn't been hacked. I'm gonna leave that out there. You think about that. That is interesting. One could, just speculate and go wild with that. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to say, wow. Okay. Wow. That was a interesting. I'm gonna walk. Hey, y'all see that? You can check that out, right? The Wolf of Wall Street, right? Check them out, and you can watch that video, and you can think about that. All right. Wendy O shared. What part of the cycle is this? What is she looking at? So there was a whole thing. Everybody's beefing Bitcoin versus XRP. That's crazy. It's just like, oh my God, people, stop. Like, this is crazy. Bitcoin 2011, right? You get 10 cents right here. 10 cents, 10 cents, 10 cents. 24 cents. Look at this, okay? 27 cents. Do you think Bitcoin started at those high numbers? Frick no, okay? That's crazy. Let it go. There's no need to be in competition. Like, what are we even talking about? Like, that's crazy. This is a store of value. There's a market cap right there. Total supply, 19 million, right? No, that's the market cap, the value. Here's the total supply, 19 million of them. Maximum supply is 21 million, and they can ever be mined, I guess. They would say. Circulating is 19.8. This is definitely going to be excessively valuable because people are going to be holding on the base of that's all there's ever going to be, and it's the beginning, and so-called it's never been hacked miracle, right? It really is not good for exchange and conducting business. It's only like storing value. It's like if you got your gold bars, you have to go to a pawn shop or something like that and swap those gold bars out. If you got currency from another country and you're holding that for value, you got to go to a particular exchange to swap that out for the currency that you desire. If you're holding artwork, well, your artwork has to go to a auction to be sold off when you want to get that value out of it. So when you're holding Bitcoin, hey man, look, it is what it is. Don't get mad at me. It just is what it is. It's got a value, okay? People hold value in it. It's valued at 83,000 right now. Could it fall flat on its face one day? I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole. I'm not prepared for that discussion. But I will say, right now, as the man said, it's a miracle, right? Wow, crazy times. All right, Michael Branch shared. Crypto expert Dark Defender has predicted the XRP price could reach 280 between 2026 and 2027. In that process, it could, because I suspect by 2028, and let's do this. So look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 years. 7 years, we've got a value of 15K, 10K, 10K. So we can see from 10K on up to about 20, right? Close to 20 right there in 7 years. All right, let's do this. And of course, let's not play this game. Let's not act stupid. That's the total amount of money inside that space right now. This is the total supply. It's 19 million, okay? Now let's do this. Let's back this thing up. Let's go over here and let's do this. We're going to open up this one. And this one starts in 2014. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7, you can see here in this area, 50 some cent, right? 50, 60, right? It's in the cents, okay? So we look up 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 more years, right? So at the 4 marker right here, we are at $2, fluctuate in between $2 and $3, right? 3 more years to go. In my opinion, just looking at this, the way this is progressively climbing, yeah, we can see 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, maybe 2 within 2026 to 2027, or 2025 to 2027, or 2028. I'm kind of suspecting by 2028, you should see maybe $8, $9, or $1,000. You should see some Ethereum numbers with XRP. Now, that's subject to change based on how fast the institutions get in. Institutions haven't even gotten in on Bitcoin, right? This isn't institutions, right, holding this. Now, some of them are, remember, with the ETFs that allowed a few places to get involved. So that's probably why we're up from while we're in the 80s, 90s, and 100s. So that would be possibly the institutions that got us to that number. But before then, it's pretty much, I believe, all retail market while we're at 60,000 for Bitcoin. So it's like, okay. So don't say it's far fetched for something like XRP within 2025 to 2028. In my personal opinion, you get to something like $1,000, anywhere from $800 to $1,000. So to this person's point, we're talking 26, 27, or $280. That's I could see that, right? Because we're still in 2025 at the beginning, and we're going to see, especially when we talk about these. Let's go back. Okay, regulatory approval, Spain. If they make Ripple produces their native token, their stable coin, or their CBDC, right? You're going to use XRP to run that, and it's not just them; it's other countries. Okay, so with that being said, other countries getting involved. It's not that far-fetched to see XRP within 2026, 2028, in my personal opinion, make it upwards of $1,000. This is just my thoughts. All right, let's continue. Digital asset investor. Hey, this is why I believe Tether was a government operation to test this concept offshore until we got U.S. regulation. What? Bank XRP. I'd like to thank Ripple, RLUSD. We're going to put a lot of thought into the stablecoin regime, right? Stablecoins. The value is not changing. Everybody wants to do business in that, right? This isn't like a stock market with a stablecoin. No, stablecoins is conducting business every day. All right. And as President Trump has directed, we're going to keep the U.S. dollar the dominant currency in the world, and we will use stablecoins to do that, right? So they're going to have, as Brad so wonderfully put it, the real U.S. dollar, right? Brad said that. Don't look at me. I didn't say that. Brad Garlinghouse did. Let's check this out.
And we are going to put a lot of thought into the stablecoin regime. And as President Trump has directed, we are going to keep the U.S. the dominant reserve currency in the world, and we will use stablecoins to do that. And we are...
Nice, right? So you see it. That ain't me. Oh, they just talk. Talk. You don't have to do something overnight to get it done, right? This stuff has been going on for a long time, so I'm not expecting this to be overnight. This is it could, but I've seen stuff happen overnight and shit like wow. But just watching this, there's a projection. I suspect, but we are in a growing season. So 2025, as we came in, I'm expecting us to grow from 2025 to 2028. 2025 to 2028, I suspect we're going to be in a constant up, flat, up, flat, up, flat, down a little bit, flat. That's what I'm expecting. This is a growing season. We're going to be going through a growing time, especially since we got 4 years of this. So yeah, we're going to be in a growing time, right? We're just going to be in a growing time. All right, Amy Lee. I don't know. I don't want to mispronounce it. I probably already did. Triblu founder Joshua Dalton says about last Friday's crypto summit. Oh, right. There was a crypto summit. Okay, learned something new, and I realized Jack Dorsey possibly made a best prediction. He posted a gift of Michael Saylor converted to XRP Maxi, right? Listen, man, business is business, okay? Banks, institutions, they want the stable coin. they want the centralized setup. I know people love DeFi. Oh, right. They want to be decentralized. They want to conduct their business and nobody be involved in it. But that shit is crazy because doors exist. KYC just means that I don't have to put my information in, so you can't say it was me that traded the stuff in on the exchange. Governments are going to lock this shit down. They are. Now, the bots, AI will probably roll on that because, right? But then again, probably not, because if you're going to conduct business, UCC, right? And money's moving around, and you're not going to be tracked as far as your money moving around, you can forget about it. They're going to know. That's the whole purpose of having this system, right? So there might be some little nuances where that doesn't happen, but for the most part, I think we're going to see them cracking down on that, and it's going to be more centralized, right? That's the only way you're going to do business. Attorney Jeremy Hogan says that the bank now finally got the green light to use distributed ledgers, stablecoins for banking and activities. Right, Jeremy Hogan, yeah. The U.S. Office of Comptroller just released an interpretive letter explicitly allowing banks to use distributed ledgers, right? Stable coins for banking activities. Now, look, we don't have to go any further, right? The banks, institutions, they all want that stability. So, yes, you just heard this guy say, yeah, they were doing it with the United States. Yeah. Nothing new. I don't need to go no further. If you're in the space, chill out, do your thing, keep increasing. Know what you're involved in. Know what you should get involved in. Keep your ears to the street. Do what you got to do. I'll catch y'all in the